Are you ready for a change? Are you tired of the same old place to go every day? Are you tired of the same people every day? Are you tired of doing the same thing at work every day? Are you thinking about a new job? Well, let's take a moment. Have you had these same feelings before? Have you gone through this same I need something new phase before? Have you ever thought about why you do this? Why you need something new? Why you need to change your job? What makes you do this? Hello, I'm Roger Bailey. I'm the owner, developer, trainer, consultant, and coach of the Language and Behavior Profile, the Lab Profile. We all repeat certain patterns in our life, like, I need a change. For each person, the combination of patterns are unique. Before you decide you need to change your job or career, let me help you understand why this keeps happening to you. Let me tell you why you want to know more about the Lab Profile. If you're thinking about a career change, many people do this because of specific problems or difficulties. Others want to make a change because of some growing, generalized dissatisfaction. A career change is becoming more common. A few decades ago, this kind of change was considered inappropriate. People were thought to be job hoppers when they moved from job to job. People with this behavior were thought to be unstable, without loyalty. But now, changing your job or changing your career is generally considered to be a normal way to advance in your work. There's some interesting reasons that people are motivated to make this kind of change. One is that the person's situation changes, and a job or career change is required. For instance, maybe the spouse moves away and the person needs to move away with the family. Or maybe the company goes out of business. It could be that the person's physical or mental capabilities change and they cannot perform that particular job or career anymore. Or it could be that the person has completed school or a training program and is now qualified to perform another kind of job. A common motivation for a job change is that the person is not a good fit for the job and was never happy with the job or career, and the situation never improved. So over time, the person has grown a dissatisfaction with the situation. At some point, this dissatisfaction grows so large, so deep, the person must change. Another common reason for a career change is that something changed in the environment of that job or career. A specific coworker is no longer at that job, so the person chooses to make the change. Or the regulations or the technology or the marketplace of this career changes, and the person does not want to continue under the new circumstances. In some cases, employees leave when management or ownership changes. But the most common reason people make a job change or a career change is their personal clock. Now, what does that mean? How does a person have a clock? The clock comes in three basic types: a long clock, a normal clock, or a short clock. Let me describe these for you. Some people have a very long clock. These people are available for a job change every 15 to 25 years. They tend to maintain their job or career for their whole life. Postal workers, railroad workers, algebra teachers are excellent examples of these ultra-stable employees. For these professions, there are rarely any changes in the jobs. The people who like these jobs, who stay at these jobs for a long time, are those who like things to remain the same, and they have a long clock. Some people have a clock of 5 to 7 years. This is the normal clock for the United States. Maybe 60 to 65% of workers in the U.S. have this clock. People with this kind of clock are comfortable at their job or task until their clock lapses. The alarm sounds somewhere around 5 to 7 years. At this point, they start to look for another job, even if they like the job they have. If they do not get the change that they need, they start to get depressed. The more time that passes before they get the change they need, the deeper the depression. If the depression gets too deep, the only relief can come from changing careers. Another group has a clock of 1 to 3 years. This is considered to be a short clock and represents about 30% of the USA population. Within this group, there are individuals who have a 1-year clock, and others who have a 2-year clock, and even others who have a 3-year clock. They have those same characteristics as those with the normal clock. When the clock lapses, they need change, And if they do not get the change they need, they get depressed. And if they still don't get the change, they get a deeper depression. And if it's too deep, they end up having to change their career. The difference is that the alarm goes off much more often for these people. When we change jobs or change career, our clock gets reset to 0. We feel refreshed and our depression evaporates. If you have needed a change because of your clock, you probably have been depressed. Making the change refreshes the clock and makes the depression go away. If you've got a long enough work history, you can look back at your work history and you can see your pattern of changing jobs and changing career. Those with a short clock rarely plan for retirement. A person with a short clock might have a wealth of work experience, but little to carry them when they retire. If you do not know your clock, you will probably change jobs and even careers because of your clock. If you know your clock, there are things you can do to make the best use of your clock and provide yourself with more stability in your work life. When you have a minor change before your clock lapses, you can refresh your clock, reset it back to 0. Understanding how and when to refresh your clock can improve your job and career stability. With more information about your own patterns, you can improve your job and career choices. You can choose jobs and careers which match your patterns. You can choose when you change your path. When you understand your patterns, you can manage your future more certainly. The Lab Profile Career Assessment provides a wealth of information about your patterns. The clock is only one set of the 40 scales of patterns you learn about in your Lab Profile report and coaching session. With a Lab Profile Career Assessment, you avoid the depressions which result from your clock's alarm sounding and a host of other job and career difficulties. 10 years from now, don't look back and regret your past. Plan a better future for yourself now. Sign up for your Lab Profile Career Assessment now. You can do this at labprofile.com.